how do you find good people? How do you keep good people? I mean, that is the real like limiter for growth, isn't it? Right? It's who is representing you when you're not there. Right?
Yeah, for sure. So much of it is a huge leap of faith. And I think a lot of stores get caught up being really worried about what happens when I'm not there. And you just have to let go of that to a certain extent. You just have to. You have to decide to take a chance on someone. And what is the worst that's going to happen? You come back after 2 weeks abroad and you fire them. That's it. That's what's the worst that's going to happen. Or they steal from you, which has totally happened to me as well.
Oh, yeah.
But you're going to have customers steal from you too. So like,
sure.
And this is just, you need people. You also need alternate voices in your store. You need people to keep you accountable and to keep you looking at things through fresh eyes. And you need customers to come in and see different people behind the counter. Because what if your customers don't like you? I'm sure I rub some people the wrong way. I mean, I know I rub some people the wrong way. Like, there's definitely some people who don't like dealing with me.
I find that impossible to believe.
But, I don't want to limit my customers' experience in the store. And different staff will have different skill sets, different product knowledge, different things that I can use to make the store a better place. So staff are just like super valuable to me. Now, how I find them, I really have no challenge with the number of people who want to work at the store, which is great.
Sure.
So when I put out a call for resumes or applications, I usually get if I do a 1 week call, I'm usually looking at about 80 to 100 applications. And it's like people wait for me to open the window so that they can apply.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, people do believe it's just fun to work in a comic shop, and they don't realize that it's actually a lot of work, and I have very high expectations.
Yeah.
So I make sure we talk about that in the interview process. I want to make it really clear that, my expectation is that you are constantly learning and you're constantly improving. I don't expect you to know everything off the bat, but I expect you to work to know it. I expect you to come to the store ready to improve and to grow every day. That is key. And then I interview as many people as catch my attention. I have a 2-part application process. They have to submit their resume, but they also have to fill out an online survey, which is just a Google form. And in that Google form, it asks things like, why do you want to work at the store? I talk about inclusivity, and I ask what that means to them. I ask for their knowledge in different product levels, or not knowledge level of different product lines. What was what's their favorite game or book? How would they describe themselves in 3 words, which is always very funny and weird. And then their availability. So there's some practical things in there, but then there's some really key things. Like, I could just read the why do you want to work here and what does inclusivity mean to you? And I could stop and not read the rest of it. I usually, by the end of those 2 questions, I know whether I'm going to interview someone or not. That coupled with the resume. And I have to get both. If I don't get both, then they haven't actually followed the instructions. And I don't want anyone who can't follow instructions. The resume's got to be properly proofread and not have errors in it. I'm okay with the Google form having errors, but not the resume. There's no excuse for that. If you can't have an attention to detail, then you cannot work for me. And so if I have those 2 parts completed the way I want them to, and I see something I like in the answers specifically, the resume is not as important to me. Retail experience is great. And it ranks higher for me than product knowledge, honestly. But there's so much more I need to know from sitting down and talking to the person face to face. And so I usually will interview about 20 to 25 people, which is exhausting.
No kidding.
But I need to find the right person or people. And usually what ends up happening is I end up with too many people I want to hire. And so then I keep a short list of if someone steps away from a job, then maybe I just contact this person and pull them in. And so I've done that a few times where I've just gone down my list and called someone in to replace a staff who happens to leave right after I hire. And I'm like, come on.